Hi there, everybody. My name is Shira Harris, and I'm one of the field coordinators here with the School of Social Work at CSUSB. I want to thank each of you for spending a little bit of time with us today to complete the IPT online training. So for today's training, we have 3 goals. Our first goal is just to introduce you to the IPT system, what its purpose is, and then to give you an overview of the format. That way, as you're navigating through it, it's a lot more user-friendly. Secondly, we want to provide a hands-on instruction so that you can log in and set up your profiles. And then finally, we just want to briefly review the content of each of the forms that are in IPT, what each of their purpose is, and then talk about just general deadlines of when they will be due throughout each quarter. So with that said, why don't we go ahead and get started? Okay. Let's begin by discussing what IPT actually stands for and its overall purpose. The Intern Placement Tracking System, also known as IPT, is a web-based software system that's designed to keep track of the students that we have placed in internships within the various agencies that we are partnered with. The CSUSB School of Social Work decided to implement the IPT system in order to more effectively track our student placements and also to provide our students a more effective way to research prospective field agencies. This also allows us to maintain an electronic learning plan and outcome evaluation, which you may also hear us refer to as the LPA, or the Learning Plan Agreement. The IPT system allows both the School of Social Work and its field agencies to communicate with the students as well as with each other, and really does ensure that the loop of communication is always open and fluid. Because of this, it is an essential part of every student's field work responsibilities to keep all of their information current in the IPT system throughout the course of the year. We're going to first come to Organization ID. Keep in mind that all 3 of these fields are upper and lowercase sensitive. The Organization ID will always be CSUSB, all in lowercase. That will not change regardless of your username and password. We're going to come down here to username. This is where you will enter the default username and password that the School of Social Work will supply to you. You will receive this through an email. So let's go ahead and enter the login, default login. Username, make sure it's case sensitive. Password, also case sensitive. When you first log into IPT, we're going to use that default username and password, and it's going to automatically take us right here. These boxes will be blank for you, and it's going to ask you to then reset a permanent login name and password. When you're choosing your username and password, it can be anything you'd like it to be, but just make sure that you write it down so that you have it for reference later on. For security reasons, the CSUSB field team will not be retaining your new username and password. However, if you should lose it, there are a couple ways that you can get it back. One, you can always contact your field coordinator. You could also contact our administrative assistant at 909-537-5565, or on that first sign-in page, there's actually a link that says forgot username and password, which I will show you when it takes us back. If it takes us back, I will show you, but it's right there underneath where you log in, and then it will just take you through the process again. Anyone will do. Please keep in mind that a student cannot contact the administration or the field coordinator on behalf of the field instructor and ask for a user ID change or reset. That needs to be done directly by either the student themselves or the field instructor themselves, and that is for security reasons. So here, go ahead and log in using any login name that you would like. Again, it will be case sensitive. You want to make sure that that's your username, that you're writing it down somewhere safe. Come up with a password again that you'll remember. You're going to enter it again to confirm and press submit. So here we go. Your password was successfully changed. We'll go ahead and click back, and it's going to take us to what we call the home page. So on your home page, you're going to see that you have 3 tabs: Home, Student Detail, and Agency List. You will also notice that on the left side of your screen, you have 2 additional links: My Forms and Change My Password. So with Change My Password, you would only need to use this if ever you felt the need to change your password on your own. Some people like to do that about every 60 days or so for security reasons, but it's not required. My Forms is where you will come when you are looking for your specific forms, which will include a learning plan agreement, a time log for each quarter, the student agreement for field, and an agency orientation checklist. So there generally are 4 forms for each student. In a student page, the My Forms will only contain the student's forms. For a field instructor, any student that is assigned to you, you can find their forms in your My Forms tab. Okay, so let's go ahead now that we've changed our password and move on to the student detail. What does student detail mean? This is where we have your demographics and your personal information. This is going to include your name and address, your phone number. It's going to include your email. However, you do not see your email here because we've actually disabled that. As students, your email will always be your Coyote ID and has already been entered. This system, through your learning plan, will allow group emails to be sent out by field liaisons or anybody who has access to this. That email will go to your Coyote email, and any email that you get through field will always be through your Coyote email. You will also see here that your date of birth is here and an emergency contact. The information is regularly used by the School of Social Work to contact you, so it's very crucial that you keep this information updated. We also want to make sure that we do have emergency contact information, even though it may seem unnecessary and we rarely use it. There have been times when we do need to get a hold of you, and this is the place that we would come. So please make sure that you enter this. You will also see the Liaison tab. Your Liaison tab, as you can see here, you can see Rachel Allenson's name, who is our field director, but there's not an option for you to change it. Here's where your assigned field liaison's name will be. If this name is wrong and you are assigned to a different field liaison, please email your liaison and let them know that you are misassigned in the IPT system, and they will go in and make the change. Anytime you hover over liaison, you should be able to see the contact information for your field liaison. Here where Inspector Gadget is where we would like for you to upload a student photo. Now I know that for some people they feel I don't want to do this, and we are really asking that you do. The reason for that is that your field instructor and your field liaison will not meet you until you're actually in field, and then your field liaison will only see you 1 time a month for the rest of the year. It is important that they're able to recognize you, and until they get to know you a bit better, your picture really is helpful. Make sure that the picture is clear and appropriate. All right, as you come down here, you will also see where it says resume, statement of understanding, and for bachelor students, a BASW pre-field application. You will receive emails that are requesting for you to upload your resume, upload your statement of understanding, and potentially your bachelor's pre-field application. This is where you would come to do that, right on your student detail page. In order to do it, you're going to click on this little pen and paper. It will bring up a box that will prompt you on how to upload whatever document it's requesting. If you have any issues with that, you can always call the admin assistant, or you can call or email your field coordinator. Okay, so if we come to the very bottom of the page, we're going to find this box that says field assignments. This is just where your information is listed in terms of where you are assigned, what agency you're assigned to in field. You'll see fall, winter, spring. Your agency will be listed in the first column. Your field instructor or field supervisor will be listed in the second, and their contact number will be in the third. This will generally be the same for each quarter, given that you are assigned to one agency for the entire academic year. Very rarely does a student change placements mid-year, but when they do, that would be the only time it would be different. If you look in the field, if the student looks in the field supervisor column and sees a name that is not their field supervisor, that needs to be reported to the field coordinator or liaison right away, because what that means is that your forms are assigned to a different person and your field instructor will not have access to those. So if you see that you have a wrong person assigned there, please let your field liaison know right away. So come with me back to the top of the page for a minute. We're going to come over here to the left and we're going to see where you upload your picture. That's where you're going to click so that you can upload and replace Inspector Gadget with a beautiful picture of yourself. Let's also come to CSWE statistics. Let's click on that and talk about that very briefly. So each year, the School of Social Work is required to submit certain information about our students to be retained by the Council for Social Work Education accreditation. That's also known as CSWE. So what we will need you to do is fill out your information by clicking on the CSWE statistics tab. We want you to fill in your gender, your age, any ethnic group questions that apply to you. And then we want you to come down to financial aid. So in financial aid, if you're child welfare Title 4E, you're going to choose this option. There are other options to choose as well, such as if you have a VA loan, if you do federal work study, if you have any kind of loan, subsidized, unsubsidized, or a parent loan, any kind of Perkins loan, etc. So anywhere that you are getting funding through financial aid, you would go ahead and fill that out. If you do not have any financial aid, then you would just leave that blank. And then here, you would want to mark not tied to current field work if you are not having your agency pay for your education, which most of you are not. The rest of this will just be filled out. Your field instruction classification, whatever kind of social work that your current agency does. So if you are at an agency that works with child welfare, you're going to mark child welfare. If you're at an agency that does mental health and community mental health, you would click here, etc. So whatever type of social work your agency does, that's what you're going to want to mark. You fill in the rest along with which year you're filling out for, and then you push save. We're back on the student detail page. We have one more tab to review, agency list. Let's go there and briefly talk about this. This agency list is specifically intended for students to be able to have a look at the different agencies that CSUSB School of Social Work holds contracts with in order to be able to place students at agencies for internship, both first and second year masters and bachelors. You can either find a list A through Z here, and you can just kind of scroll through the different agencies that we have alphabetically. Or if you know specifically what agency you're looking for, you can come right to the first letter of that agency's name and come to a shorter list. If you click into an agency, you'll be able to see the agency detail, much like the student detail. You'll see the name of the agency, their address, contact numbers, a website if we have it, and then any internship information that we might have. This will assist the student in being able to see what kind of agencies we have as well as where they're located, and at times be able to visit websites both to prepare for interviews with that agency, but also just to research different agencies that are in our local communities. Let's click back to student detail page. That takes us through IPT. So again, we're going to go through the home page is the first page that you come to. You're going to have home, student detail, and agency list. On your left-hand side, you will have My Forms, which is where either your personal student forms will be held, or if you're a field instructor, all of your students who are assigned to you, all of their forms will be there in a list for you. This is also where you can come to change your password if you choose to. If we go into student detail, this is where all of the students' personal information is housed, as well as a nice picture, as well as the information about the field instructor and agency with which they're assigned to, and any forms that have been asked to be uploaded. Here is where we also will find the CSWE statistics that we would like each student to fill out each year. And then there's the agency list again, the full list of agencies that the CSU School of Social Work in San Bernardino contracts with, and any information about those agencies. Hi, welcome back. So far, we've introduced you to IPT, what it stands for, and how the School of Social Work utilizes it to both track and evaluate the students. And we've been able to give you that hands-on training to both log in and set up your student profiles. We were also able to talk a little bit about gathering statistics and how they're utilized for CSWE accreditation. And then we introduced you to our agency list.